Okay, welcome everybody to Breakthrough Assault and No Dice, No Glory, playing the Firestorm Gazala campaign. You would have seen it on our websites that we are going to run this hopefully for every worldwide campaign for everyone to join into. I'm joined by, so my name's Mark, I should introduce that, and I'm from Breakthrough Assault, and I'm joined by Tom from No Dice, No Glory.
Hey Mark, how you doing?
Yeah, good, thanks. And this is one of the fantastic things about using Tabletop Simulator. So I've actually built this board and all the tokens on it. So this is exactly the same as you would cut out, perhaps download and cut out. But putting it on Tabletop Simulator means that we can, as the two generals, we can talk, we can show you all our moves as they happen and our thought process behind it. And then what we need from you guys is to play the games we've laid down. And we'll talk at the end how you can do that and how you can send us the results that will ultimately change the fate of the Gazala campaign. So the first thing we're going to need to do... Go ahead.
I was going to say this will be a lot easier than previous forum-based campaigns because of the live interaction. So the delay between setting up units and folks can actually see the die rolls and see how things happen. So it's adding a lot of features that will greatly expedite gameplay than what we've had before in previous attempts to do online Firestorm campaigns.
Yeah, absolutely. And some of the longer term players remember that No Dice No Glory's predecessor, WWPD, did, and actually run by Tom, did some fantastic forum based ones, which worked really well. But as Tom says, being able to actually see it unfold like this and do the battles simultaneously for each turn means we can keep everyone involved. And the idea is that we're going to set up the initial battles, assign the Firestorm troops, and then there's going to be a 2-week period from when we announce it online for those battles to happen, and then we'll collate the results and we'll do another video explaining what has happened, working out what Firestorm units have been killed and captured, what consolidation moves occur, and then doing our next turn and laying out the next set of battles. And there'll be a total of 3 game turns, so that will work out at about 6 weeks for the campaign.
Sounds great.
Cool. So the first thing we need to do is work out how many battles there's going to be for this turn. So there's always a minimum of 3, but you add a D3 to the on top of that. So we'll just roll this here. Wow. So we've gone in heavy with 6 battles. So the Germans have the initiative in the first turn. So you normally roll off to find out who's going to place the first marker. However, the Germans in Gazala, because it is the German offensive that kicks all this off, automatically gets the first battle. So I'm going to place my first one down now, and my first move is going to be pushing in to Charlie 4 in here, defended by the 4th Brigade, the Desert Rats. What I quite like about that is as I go in, I can bypass C5 and cut it off. However, Tom does have a resupply token here, so he will be able to continue to defend that area. If he could actually do an attack out of it or do a defense into it, but that would burn one of his markers. Once all those have gone, if you're cut off, you have to, at the start of a battle, roll a dice, and you could be out of fuel, out of supplies, or low on ammo, which will affect what happens. So the first thing we'll do is place a marker here. I'm just going to make that a bit smaller, just so it fits in a bit better. So that's going to be the initial attack. And to this, I've got to assign my Firestorm troops to it for the initial attack. So what am I going to be doing? So I'm going to be obviously the only Firestorm troop that Tom's going to have available there is the 4th Brigade, which gives him some additional grants into the mission. So there's going to be a bit of armor in there, so it seems obvious to me that I want to commit some panzers. So I'm going to put down the 15th, the 8th Panzer Regiment there. That gives me 3 short Panzer IVs and 1 long Panzer IV. and that would be in addition to whatever agreed point someone who plays that game has. So obviously that would kind of create parity if Tom assigned his Firestorm troops there. So I need to take that area. So I'm going to go for broke here, and I'm debating whether to put more Germans in or actually back it up with the Italians. It's going to be a very strong force if I put this in. A very strong force indeed for an initial thrust. Yeah, I know they're expensive units, and I think if you can put those together, you're going to be onto a good one there. Tell a lie, I'm going to take that out, and I'm going to add air support. So I'm actually going to bring a set of Stukas in, because I think they'll do well fighting those grants, so that will give me just that little bit bonus to try and take that unit out. So my 2 assigned units there are my Panzer IVs and Stuka dive bombers. So Tom, do you want to just not risk your Firestorm troops, or do you want to put one in?
Oh no, we'll defend, but also you do have the option of putting in Rommel with this if you wanted to. Couldn't he be an additional? He's like the only one you can get as an additional unit on this. I'm not encouraging you to do so. just pointing that out, that you have the option. At least I think you do.
Yeah, in fact, that's really well remembered. Thank you. Yeah, so you're only allowed 2 Firestorm troops to go in, but Rommel is a special thing in this scenario that you can add in addition. And I'm just looking up on my phone where I've got the rules. Brilliantly made by our friend Yokel out in Iceland. So big shout out to him. Just to check what Rommel does. So let's have just a quick look at that. I think basically it is the Rommel card from the book in his tank. I've got it down here.
Yeah, but if he by chance is lost, that could have some repercussions for the rest of the battle. So it's kind of a dicey thing.
So reinforce your company with Rommel. He does not count towards the 2 Firestorm troops, and be used in addition. You may use the card Rommel from Africa Corps. So basically, yeah. So you get Rommel from Africa Corps, but this is a big deal. If he dies, you get the victory points. You get special victory points for killing him, and I also lose a +1 initiative roll for all the battles. So it loses my ability to keep that offensive going. So perhaps not in the spirit of Rommel, who was a gambler. My Britishness at this stage is going to play through, and I'm not going to commit him because I just can't risk him dying at this stage.
Yeah, I wouldn't have either. I just wanted to make sure that the folks out there observing knew that that was an option.
Cool. Okay, so the second battle we actually start rolling for. In the first turn, the Germans get +1 to their roll. But as long as Rommel is alive, you get a further +1. So I've got a total of +2 to my roll for initiative for the second battle. So I'll roll on here. So I've got a total of 6. Over to you, Tom.
I can tie you.
Okay, and unfortunately, the Germans win ties in the rule book for this. So I'm going to place another marker.
Yeah, but that wasn't a tie. With your bonus, you had rolled a 6 effectively, and I was only a 4.
Oh, sorry, you've got no bonus, have you? I'm going mad. Yeah, so it's 4v6. So I'm going to place the next one.
Yeah, we're not expecting a whole lot of Allied initiative in this first turn. Now, if I had initiative, I would have done a spoiling attack from C6 into C2.
Oh, what, round there? Into there? Yeah. I've got to check. You're the Firestorm expert, having played more than me. Can you have simultaneous attacks into this? Can you have an attack coming from one area and then one coming into that area at the same time?
No, and that's why it's kind of like a spoiling thing. So once arrows can only go in one direction from same zone to same zone. So you can have multiples leaving from one area going into a single area, or going to different areas, and you can have different areas coming into a single area, but you can't basically. It's not a two-way street. Between the two areas, there's only one attack area.
I see what you mean. So by you attacking C6 there into C2 there, then it would have stopped everything, and I wouldn't have been able to attack out. Oh yeah, that would have been nasty. So yeah, another good reason to keep Rommel around for those extra rolls. Okay, so I'm going into Bravo 3 here.
That's also why you need that bonus, so that you can keep that initial initiative.
Yeah, absolutely. So I'm going to go into Bravo 3 here with the aim to cut off your troops around the centre. So you're going to be defending. You're going to get some extra Crusaders there. Now, obviously, I've only got the Italians here. So this is Italian infantry. First of all, I'm going to, because I haven't got any tanks, I'm going to commit. As I'm going to be fighting Italians, I think, only fitting that I should have Italian air support rather than German air support. And I've just got to check. So I picked the right one because there's different ratings for the Italians. So yeah, so I want these guys. I want the 101st are the more elite troops. The other ones are from get the Legions of Rome card, but these guys are your normal Italian infantry platoon. So that would give me a rifle platoon, and also either the motorcycle or soft skin transport card, which is interesting. So I'm going to commit those two.
Okay, and could I also, obviously, within that area, the Crusaders being committed or not is the only option. So air?
You can add in, so you've got 2 Hurricane air sorties that you can add. You could also have added that to your Charlie 4 mission as well if you want.
Yeah, I think I'm going to do that. Put one with Charlie 4 and then one, because again, these are, you got to take that initial brunt as much as you can.
Yeah, absolutely.
All right, but so now all of my air assets are allocated for this turn. But again, these are two key zones that I want to put maximum effort into.
Oh, absolutely. And you know what? I'm a little bit surprised with 6 battles because I was looking at it going, I didn't really want to carry out 6 offensive actions. I wanted to concentrate everything on a few rather than spread my Firestorm troops out. I mean, not that I have to have Firestorm troops, but of course, all your areas have got something you can add to create a defense. So, yeah, we'll see how it keeps going. I've still got 1 set of air support that can be assigned. Right, so second roll. So this is for battle number 3. So I've got a total of 5. So if you roll a 6, you get a battle. Oh yeah. So you get one.
Well, you know where I'm going. I already told you earlier.
Well, you can't go C6 into C2 because I've already got one coming out of it. So actually, the only ones you can launch an attack from are up here, because this is already committed. And this and Charlie 2 round here is already committed. So Alpha 2 is uncommitted at the moment. So you could launch an attack, a spoiling attack into there.
All right. Well, I guess I need to take advantage at least of one of these to reduce your awesome number of 6 attacks for this turn.
Yeah. I'll just shrink that down a little bit so we've got a bit more space.
Yeah, if you could flip it around, that'd be helpful. Because
okay, and for those guys watching, so the F in those areas shows it's a fortified area, and as it's a fortified area, it actually takes 2 turns for me to capture it. Same, obviously, this is a fortified area. Plus, this black line is a minefield line or defensive line. So if attacking over it, I get to use minefields in my game. If I'm already in a mission with minefields, it doesn't give me anything extra. But if I was fighting a mission without them, then I get a normal amount of minefields on there. So that there, the first division, that's 25 pounders. So you get 4 25 pounders there, and an infantry platoon, a rifle platoon with the first division. So,
and that does not automatically negate my fortifications behind me, does it?
No, your fortifications remain. Fortifications
okay.
remain.
I didn't want to give up my foxholes.
No, but that's. I mean, if that goes well, that could be really good, because if you can push me out of there, then you're already on you're only one away from being able to get into Alpha 1, which is one of my 2 supply lines, and worth 40 victory points. So I do not want to lose that battle. So I'm going to put up my best troops I have. So I'm going to put up my Germans. So that gives me a DAC platoon with all the trimmings and soft skin transports. And then I'm also going to put up my regular Italians, so not the Legions of Rome guys. That will give me quite a nice infantry force in there. And then I've still got, even if they're wiped out, because I still have 1 Firestorm troop left in there, you would kind of destroy the fortification token, but you wouldn't take that area, so it would take 2 turns to take that site. Okay, so next turn. So we're now on battle 4. Oh, it'd be dangerous if I could roll high.
I better hope I don't get another 6 here.
You've actually got no... well, tell a lie. Yeah, no, you can put another attack in, because you can put Bravo 2 could attack into Alpha 2 as well. And if you won both of them,
yeah,
you would take Alpha 2.
If I did that, then you certainly will have more attacks coming, and you could from behind. And, so not so sure I want to pull those guys forward.
True, but don't forget, if you win, you don't have to commit. The Firestorm troops don't have to go over. So if you won the battle in the north, you could, for example, put your 1st Division troops to occupy it, and then your 74th Regiment's 69 Brigade, if they win that battle, you could consolidate them back to remain in that original area.
So these guys could attack into Alpha 2?
Yeah, again, I think you can have 2 battles into the same area. Let me just check the rule book here, 1 second.
Yeah, while you're looking it up, I just recall from earlier versions of Firestorm, it may not be the case here, is that once 2 areas were locked, they were basically fusionary. There was no other things going on between those 2 areas.
Yeah, I've just checked. I think that's it. Yeah, I think you can only have 1 battle, having just looked. So in actual fact, you haven't got any offences you can do.
Right, so I guess we just burn that one.
So we just burn that one. So let's see. So that was battle number 4. So battle number 5.
At this juncture, there's no need to roll, because if I can't place an arrow, well, I need to roll because I might.
You might be able to negate my attack. So I got 5, you got 4, so I do get an attack on here.
Yeah, not so lucky this time.
Yeah. So Yokel was telling me, he goes, "Oh, don't you worry, Mark, you'll get all the attacks on the first turn." Like, no, I won't. Right, well, I don't want to go into... Well, yeah, do I? So this is interesting. So Charlie 6 seems a nice sweeping manoeuvre and if I win it, I could potentially consolidate into Charlie 8 as well, which is worth 10 victory points, and that takes one of your air bases out. But this centre here, Charlie 3, is defended by the French, which gives you 4 25-pounders, but it's also fortified. Now, if I completely destroyed your Firestorm, if I won this spectacularly and killed your Firestorm troop, it would... that fortification doesn't matter. But as long as your Firestorm troop is alive, it's going to take 2 turns to capture that. Now I've got enough troops to do 2 attacks, I suppose, here. So I could commit into both of them. It's where I want to put the weight. So yeah, so I'm going to do an attack into... So you're going to get minefields in there, so I'm going to need some infantry to clear that. So I'm certainly going to need to put the infantry in there. So I'm going to put this template down into here. And into this one, I'm going to commit to what you got. You got a motor rifle was there. So I'm going to commit...
Not a particularly strong unit.
I'm going to commit my panzers in there. And I'm going to commit the Italians as well. So that gives me 4 M14s.
Well, I'm going to pull this
Yeah.
guys over to help.
Okay, so that was number 5. So we've got 1, 2, 3 attacks. You gained 1, 4. Oh, so that must have been battle number 4. Have I done that right? It's 1 in the centre, 1 there, 1, 2, 3. There's 4 down. You got the 5th one. Yeah, so this is the last battle. Boom. So I get 1 more. Now here's the... I've got a choice here. I could go in and take C5, or I could go be bold and try and push into C3. Obviously C3 is fortified, so it's going to take a bit longer. But it does give me a little bit there. The agony of choice. I'm trying to think, what did Rommel do? I don't know my exact history on this campaign well enough to know where he went.
Well, he swung way to the east.
Yeah, I mean, I like that they will be cut off, but you're going to be able to survive if I win Charlie 4, but you're going to be surviving for a turn, so you could attack out of that into my rear, which concerns me a bit, I have to be honest. Although you only have 1 25-pounder unit to do that. Equally, it will take 2 turns for that area to fall. So I'm going to go into that by the logic that it's going to take 2 turns of attacks to actually break that centre, and you've got enough supplies to hold out. Now I'm still not going to commit Rommel, but I am going to commit some Stukas to that endeavour. Hopefully that they will be able to pin those extra 25-pounders that they'll have. Plus, because I'm attacking over a minefield... Oh, I am attacking over a minefield, aren't I? So even if I go manoeuvre, you're going to have those. No. No, I'm going to be dull, I'm afraid, Tom. I'm going to go into there. I don't fancy attacking over that minefield, I'm afraid. I'm already doing it once over here. So, there you go. Stick that on there.
They'll certainly defend.
Yeah. Yeah, I didn't think you'd want to lose those. Particularly because they would have nowhere to run to. So if they're lost, they are captured.
And that's if we lose C4 also.
Yeah. Yeah, sorry, if I take C4, then there's no hope for those guys because they'll be surrounded. So yeah, there's a lot going on. It's a small map, but it's it's quite closely packed. Quite closely packed.
With the simultaneous battles, when we do we consider the results applied in the order of which the battle was rolled. So it does matter that was your first attack coming into C4. I mean, that's how we generally ran them. But because they're sequential battles in the actual campaign, you kind of have to interpret it. But that's how we generally did it.
Okay, yeah, that makes sense. So for those who are listening, and we'll put an article out as well detailing this as well. This is now the battles that we need all of you to fight. Basically, what we're going to do, we'll write up and it will go out on both our websites. Just a summary of the 5 battles that you can choose to take part in this turn, and we'll include the unit cards for the Firestorm troops, so you know exactly what you get in addition. It's completely up to you how many points you play. You might want to play a normal 100 points and then add the Firestorm troops into it. If there's lots of Firestorm troops and lots of points, you might be thinking, oh, actually, we'll do a little bit of a smaller battle, maybe 80 points, and use the Firestorm troops to top that up. To be honest, though, in all these, apart from a couple of them, it's fairly balanced on the Firestorm troops. So 3 of them have got them on each side, 2 on each side. So you might want to play some slightly smaller points, completely down to you, and depending on your table size as well. We'll have an email address by then, which will go out, and that's going to be a Breakthrough Assault address. In fact, I will get it for you now because it was made by Duncan last night, who just messaged it through to me. So stand by 1 second. Here we go. So it's going to be breakthrough.assault@gmail.com, and that's going to be the email address. And what we ask is, if you play a game, it doesn't need to be War and Peace. You just need to send us an email. It'd be great to get a couple of photographs of the game. Let us know which battle you fought and what the outcome was. And it's really important to tell us what the score was, because obviously that will decide who won. But also, depending what the final score was, it affects how likely it is that the Firestorm troops get destroyed. And what we'll do is we'll average the results out in each battle to work out who won and by what margin. And then when we come back in a couple of weeks' time, we'll do this again, but we'll actually show what's happened, and we'll be rolling the dice to work out whether Firestorm troops are captured and destroyed, and then going through exactly what we did here by laying down the next set of battles. So really, it's going to be over to you guys. Please don't think you're absolutely tied to these Firestorm troops. We know everyone won't have everything that's on this board. So what I'll also do is I'll put up the points that these units cost. And if you don't have these units, feel free to sub them out and add that equivalent points to your game. It would be obviously fantastic if you've got British and German forces in the desert to play, but this is all about getting people back playing, as you know, depending what country you're in, lockdown measures reduce. So it's about getting people back to their local gaming stores, their clubs, supporting that, and just getting games in. So if you don't have a desert force, then feel free to play with something else. We just ask, if you can, please try and be as close as you can be to keeping the fluff of the campaign going. If you can't get a game, if you're still in lockdown, so in the UK, we can't go to other people's houses to play games. We can play them outside if it's a nice day, but we can't go into people's houses. So we are completely open to use Tabletop Simulator. If you've got into that, and you will have seen on both our websites some reports on how to play Tabletop Simulator's Flames of War, please feel free to do that. But where able, we do ask that you get down to your stores, because we're going to need people to start going back if we want this hobby to continue to thrive. So that's it. Tom, thanks for coming along. We'll have to see how all we can do as generals is lay the pieces, and we'll have to organise. I've got a desert board on Tabletop Simulator, so hopefully we can get a game in next week, in the next couple of weeks as well.
Thank you for setting this up, Mark. It's excellent. Great opportunity to get folks back at it, and it's always good to have a kind of a theme background to what we got going on gaming-wise. Yeah,
absolutely. And thanks to Yokel. He's a lot of the market garden, a lot of the firestorms that you see online, and we'll put the link up to it, are made by him. He's a fantastic historian. I'd highly recommend. He's from Iceland. He's actually done a book on the history of World War II in Iceland. Have a quick Google, and you'll find it. Fantastic book. He really loves his history, and he spends an awful lot of time researching these firestorms. And we're delighted that he's allowed both our websites to show this one off first before it goes up on the Battlefield site. So thanks, Yokel, for that. Okay. By the time you all watch this video, we should have the articles up as well, just detailing the forces. So to everybody listening, thank you, and it's now over to you. Whether you're taking the Allies or the Axis, best luck to you, and may your dice be kind. Thanks a lot.